It is my absolute pleasure to be joined today by author Stephanie Fisher. She is the author of the newly released book, My Name is Bill, Not Betty. And so, Stephanie, tell us about this book.
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. Like I said, I'm gonna try to go through. I do get a little nervous talking about stuff like this, but do just bear with me. um, my like I said, like you said, my name is Stephanie Fisher. I wrote this book as like an ode to my great uncle. Um, my great uncle had a very elaborate, kind of like on the spectrum, both ends of the spectrum kind of life. He was into science, and he was into um, theater, and he was the main character in a lot of the plays that he did. So he was, the best of both worlds. He's not someone that I got to get. I knew most of his story. I only heard stories because he was taken from us when I was very little. Um, and so just growing up and here, when it was plausible and when I could, because the way that he was taken from us was horrible. And so when I got the feelers out there from my family members, when it would be okay to ask questions, I asked questions. Um, there's like I remember going over to my family's house and seeing all kinds of work. I mean, he did sculpting, painting, all kinds of things. And so I knew growing up that I was going to write his book. I was going to write a book about him. I wanted people to know about him. I wanted people to know, all of the treasures that he was, all of the gifts that he gave. And I knew that this would be a story, excuse me, that a lot of people would be able to relate to. And so, within the book, I put different kinds of uh, organizations that are helpful to communities and stuff like that. That if you're having issues or if you need help, um, I just felt like this his story is something bigger than just our family.
That's incredible. And what a way to honor him as well, to write a book about him. I think that's amazing. And you've already talked about it a little bit, but I'm going to ask it in a deeper way. What was that main point of inspiration for you for saying, you know what, I'm going to write this book. Like, I need to write this book. What was that main point of inspiration?
I've talked about this before with other people. It was kind of funny because I don't know if we always have our calling, or you have something that we're meant to do, right? And since I've known this since I was little, and I just kept saying, "Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it," and I kept not doing it, kept not doing it. And I'm like, and I said, you know what? That's it. I'm going to stop making excuses. I'm just going to do it because I mean, what's the, you know, either do it or don't. But I just decided, like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And I made a plan. And since I'm a teacher, I have to be very strategic with my time. During the summertime, I've got, several weeks where I can, um, kind of really invest time with this. But I did all my planning prior to writing the book, and just like had an outline. I had everything so that, well, after the last day of school, I could sit down and just start typing it. And then I did it. And I was very focused. I'm like, it's now or it's never. So,
That's amazing. We all have things in our life right now that we need to say to ourselves, it's now or never. Let's just do it. So I think it's great that you
yes.
did it. I need someone to tell me that in my life about a lot of things. So, is there anything else you'd like to share with us today about you, the book, or the message within the book?
Um, I know, why would someone want to read my book? Um, there's so many, we've all, not all of us, but we all have to live with grief. Okay. Whether or not you get to say your goodbyes or anything like that, but we all have to live with grief. And I feel like a lot of times we don't get to do that. And I know I'm not the only one. And the whole purpose of this book was not only just to tell his story, but to help others. I want to be an ally to the LGBTQ plus community. I want to be, um, and I want to continue to learn to be a better ally as well, because this is where we're going. This is we need not just the LGBTQ community, but we need to give our resources. We need to help one another. We need to be more forgiving, more understanding. And I feel like since the premise of the book is about telling his story, I want other people to know that they can find connections in this. They can find other things that maybe they don't have someone in their family that is, but there's other connections to be made. You know, um, yeah. I want to be able to be a resource. I want to help. And I feel like this book is one of the ways that I can do that.
Well, I think that's incredible and shows that you have an amazing heart as well. And that I love that you've included resources, wanting people to be able to get, get that assistance or just support, just support and friendship and connection. And so we want to let everyone know where this book can be bought online. This book by Stephanie Fisher. My name is Alice, not Betty. It's available online everywhere books are sold. It's available on Amazon, Apple Books, Reader House, online at Barnes and Noble, all the places. It's easy to find, easy to purchase. We recommend everyone pick up this special book today. And Stephanie, I think you are a delight. I think what
Thank you.
you're writing your uncle's story is amazing. And I look forward to hearing more from you. And thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to me.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.